I'd like to call this meeting to order of the Gary Community Schools Board meeting for April 10th, 2024. Okay, and we can start by saying the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I'd like to have a roll call so we can confirm quorum.
Mr. Michael Suggs.
Present.
Dr. Denise Johnson Woods.
Present.
Attorney Shantre Irving. Dr. Vanessa Allen McLeod.
Present.
Mr. Glenn Johnson.
Present.
With a roll call of 4 members present, we do have quorum. We may proceed. At this point, I will entertain a motion to accept the agenda for tonight's meeting. It's a motion to accept the agenda. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. The agenda has been confirmed. I'd like to take this time to start our meeting with public comments. We welcome public comments at this time. Dr. Spangelberg. Thank you. I'm going to get it right. Keep coaching me.
It's okay.
I appreciate you.
Hello, my name is Dr. Michaela Spangenberg. I'm the facilitator of the Gary Education Coalition. When the legislation was passed and signed to create this board, there was the stated intention that this was a transitionary board. That one day we'd have like full local control again, that would be elected control, all of those good things that are very typical amongst the 23113, I forget which one right now, school corporations that we have in the state, the vast majority of which, with the exception of 10, are elected. But in other ways, it was also an experiment. It was an experiment on the part of people who opposed the idea of elected boards, you know, in a demonstration of, I guess in their mind, that appointed boards can do all the things that every other board can do and so on and so forth. And of course, you guys haven't had the experience of having to hold the full role of a board yet. I kind of hope that when that happens, things are looking a little bit better. Because unfortunately, as I reviewed this report, it just highlighted to me the fact that we waited until like January to have these folks begin this process, but these clearly weren't the right folks to begin this process because they don't know what a focus group is, but they're holding focus groups. They had focus groups that had 4 members each, with the exception of one, I guess, that had 5. That was astounding to me. You can't have a focus group of 4 people. They said that they would include a transcript of the focus group, which is absolutely necessary for analyzing focus group data. No such transcript was included, and in fact, in the documentation, they admitted they didn't bother to do anything like that. They just took notes. That's not raw data. Every time you're sitting there and someone's telling you something and you're writing it down, there's a level of interpretation. So we don't even have that. The percentages they put in the reports aren't even whole and representative percentages. They don't refer to all over participants. They don't even refer to all the participants that were included in the survey, since that's the majority of the participants. They're just per question. They didn't even bother to notice that was what had happened, but that's what they report back to you, because I guess that's how little faith they have in you and in us as a community in terms of this. And what also shocked me was the takeaway from that and the takeaway from community conversations. One takeaway was the same, which was the community wants someone with superintendent experience that has been successful, and yet only 6 of the applicants are current superintendents. I very much doubt that the rest used to be superintendents and then took another job, but it's possible. So then I'm interested to see, since we went down by a 1/6 of all the, allegedly they're gonna provide between 4 and 6 recommendations, I'm curious how many of those people actually fit the bill. And if they didn't fit the bill, why they were being considered to begin with, if we know that's what our community wants. Thank you.
Mrs. L. Tyndall.
Good evening and thank you. I am Mrs. Lavetta Tyndall, and one of the self-proclaimed advocates for quality, high quality, and equitable education for all children. I have a list of Black inventors that I'll be sharing with you, and I want us to acknowledge that, excuse me, Black inventions and reading are crucial to our daily lives. We are to remember that what we create is to have our name on it, be it a tool, be it a child, be it a work of art. Whatever we create, we need to get in the habit of putting our names on those items. For example, this is one of the yearbooks from this previous year. Our children's pictures are here, but there are no names under those children who have participated in activities in the school. I don't know what your yearbook was like, but my yearbook is filled with pictures, accomplishments, and names of the people that were listed in that yearbook. We want the same to be done for our children in our Gary Community School Corporation and the Westside Leadership graduating class. I've given you, board members, copies of the agenda and the public notice for the meeting of DUAB, which is going to take place tomorrow at 1:30 Eastern Standard Time in Indianapolis. I don't know if this board knows what DUAB is, but if you're representing me and representing the students of this school system, I would expect you to be in attendance at that DUAB meeting. So far we have Mr. Razor, Ms. Nelson. They attend on a regular basis. We need you to attend to get more knowledge of what's going on with the agency that is managing our school system. Mr. Kaufman is here, Mr. Parrish is here. These are people from MGT. Do you know them? Do our members here from the community, have you met them? Mr. Pete Miller is usually here. I don't see him today. But we need to become involved with the people that are involved with us. Thank you so much.
Nikki Bird.
Yes, I'm Nikki Bird, and I don't want to waste my time introducing myself. I think most people know me. I'm very upset, very hurt. I'm 77 years old. I've been in Gary, Indiana all of my life. I've been working with children because I worked at the jail in Crown Point, most of you know that, for 23 years. I have volunteered in these schools over 30 years. There's a lot of disrespect for parents. We say that we want parent participation, and then when parents try to participate, we're kind of like shuffled to the side. That we had a community meeting here at this Gary Career Center. We had a meeting, public input for the superintendent search. I haven't heard anything about what happened from that. You know, we didn't get it. If you just said, okay, we had 30 people to come out, we need to contact them and let them know what we're doing. If we don't have somebody in these schools with a vested interest, it's gonna keep doing what it's doing, and that's going to the dogs. Our children are suffering. We have people running our schools who don't live in our community, who don't know anything about our children, and it's like, it's okay. I don't like to complain. This public complaint, that's not what I do. I try to talk to people on a one-on-one basis, get some understanding, do some things. Our children in Gary have been thrown away. Nobody seems to care what happens to them. I'm sorry. The board is appointed. So to me, I could be wrong, but I think appointed boards, you are committed to someone, whoever helped to appoint you. They took away all of the power from the community. We had an elected board. These people came in, they just tore it all apart. And now you got a few people just sitting around, worried about their salary and not really worried about the children. We need to have somebody running our schools that have a vested interest in our children. And we don't need outsiders to keep coming in, making things worse than they already are. You're bringing in people who don't know anything about Gary. They gotta find out which side of town is doing what. We need somebody to come in here who really is gonna sit down and try to work out something that's gonna benefit the teachers and the children. We need to do that. We need to do it real soon, like as soon as yesterday. Because if we don't, our children they're totally lost. You okay with that? All right, we'll see. Have a good day.
Jackie Lee.
Ooh, I church. Hey.
Thank you.
Good evening, my name is Jackie Lee. I'm here today to ask for questions of this board. I had recently pulled up the resume for one of the participants that would be, trying to find us a superintendent. And I noticed that she had put on her resume, Gary, Indiana Consulted School System. Never heard of it, Googled it. So when people lie on their resume, usually that disqualify them. So y'all need to look into that. And another thing, I had been asking about a forensic audit for us to find out where most of the monies had been spent on. And they had told us that when they bought this $8 million worth of furniture, that they had sent the old furniture to Africa. I need to see a shipping receipt to Africa. Really, I do. And I want to know that the people on the board, that they can have programs or they can have fundraisers at our school. Is that legal? And ain't that a conflict of interest? And I understand that you sit on the board, that doesn't, say that you have the right to use our auditorium for fundraisers. There's a lot of things that's going on we need to know as a community. We just asking because these people came into our community and said they were gonna do a job that they didn't do. We understand that. But you sitting on the board now need to ask questions. I never heard any of you all ask anything about the money. You've been on this board for a while. Mike, you said you can chew gum and walk. Well, I don't think you can do that. I don't think you can chew gum or walk. Because there's no information being given. And I didn't think that Danita Hughes was the right person to look for a superintendent for our schools. She's been through a lot of things. And anybody been through as much as she has, I just didn't feel like he was that person. Not saying you just been through some things. I'm not gonna mention the things you've been through, but the community knows. Well aware of what you've been through. And I thought it should have been someone that didn't have so much on their plate to do that, because you overlook the fact that they lied on their resume to get that job. And it's right there in your face, you can look at it. And at this point, they should be disqualified. Shouldn't be nothing said. Because if I lied on my resume and I had a job, they'll disqualify me. That's the way it works. And so, and I'm understanding, I was looking at the East Chicago thing, school board, they know more about what's going on over here than we do. They know it's like 2 people left. We didn't have that information. Do y'all not want to give us information?
Your time is up, Ms. Lee.
Do y'all not want to give us information?
Time is
I
up,
stayed
Ms.
here
Lee.
last
Ms.
meeting
Lee.
and y'all was a half an hour late.
Miss Lee.
Half an hour late.
Miss Lee.
So
your
I
time
stand
is
here as long as I please. Like I said,
Miss
y'all
Lee.
not want to give us information.
up. Miss Lee, I'm asking you politely.
And I'm telling you politely. I was in this meeting, last school board meeting, y'all started a half an hour late. And you didn't say, you didn't
Miss
apologize, you didn't do anything. Hold up, treat me
You are
like I
disrespecting
want.
the time of this board as well as other
They
public
disrespected my time. I had to
Comment.
leave
Miss
because
Lee.
y'all was a half an hour late. A half an hour late. You didn't apologize, I watched the
I'm
meeting.
being as professional as I can
And
because
you know
everyone
what?
else has
Are we
had 3
paying you
minutes.
$250,000 a
please,
year to keep
I don't
time?
know who's getting,
To keep time, if that's
who
what
you're
the
getting
school
your
for?
information from, but
Well, you
I
keeping
think that you
time.
have
You keeping
the
time.
same amount of time as everyone else for public
I didn't have no
comment.
time last,
So please,
when I came here last time.
please
That's
be
all I'm saying.
respectful.
I am being disrespectful. You didn't respect me.
Speak correct.
When you learn how to respect us, we'll respect you all. How about that? Have a good evening.
Robert Buggs.
I sat in here home for me. She went to school to keep time.
Good evening. The last I heard, and I'm not being facetious, this is not a third world country. Now, maybe the board don't know this, but I'm gonna tell you something. I'm trying to talk fast to get all this in. A referendum is not purpose intended to balance a budget or the deficit. We had a praise in the park where Reverend Gardner suggested that it be raised from 16 cents to 20 cents. Mr. Eric Parrish then raised it from 46 cents for $100 assessed valuation to 56 cents. which cost the citizens of Gary $19.2 million over. Now they're talking about another possible referendum. And 2 weeks before Mr. Paul George said at the DUAP meeting, Dr. Razor said that we had a $4 million surplus for rainy day fund. So less than a month later, you cannot have a deficit. But I've asked this question 3 times and I've got no answer. None. Those are the facts. The other thing is, we are being told what to say, how to say it, how long to say it, and how to stand. That is wrong. That is wrong. I disagree with the BWP consultants to come in and look for a superintendent. When they're gonna be making decisions, choosing somebody that's gonna make decisions over our children's lives and future, and they're gonna be going someplace else. That should be left up to the parents, period. But DUAP, they treat us like a third world country. MGT come in, third world country. Everybody wants to tell the citizens of Gary what they want them to do and how they want them to do it without them saying anything about it. And if you do say something about it, then you consider militant or disrespectful. That needs to stop. Like today. Now I've also said that these public comments should be at the conclusion of the meeting so that we can ask questions about what goes on during the meeting. We have no way of knowing what you all are going to talk about. So I would suggest, and it's allowed by the ISBA, that you can't have public comment at the end of the meeting. We do not have to fashion ourselves like DUAP. We are not the Discretionary Appeals Board where they have the public speaking first. As a matter of fact, I complain about that. They usually let the public speak at all. So now here we are. Somebody comes in here to choose the superintendent. We can't ask a question. They're technically in our house, making decisions for our children. And they said, we can't tell you. Then I got complaints that some of the applicants were not even contacted or interviewed. That's wrong. How much longer are we gonna just let somebody come in here and tell us what to do, how to do it? We are not a third world country. This is the same Gary, Indiana, that back in the day before I came here, that people coming from Japan and all over the world to copy and learn about the educational initiatives in Gary, Indiana. Now look at us. What happened?
Your time is up.
Thank you.
I'd like to take this time to thank the members who shared their thoughts. We appreciate your comments and encourage others to comment as well. Thank you. I'd like to move on with the agenda. The next item on the agenda is the superintendent search update. I'm pleased to report that the process is moving well. Excited about the candidates that we received. Dr. Johnson Woods shared with you at the last meeting, excuse me, that we had 38 candidates representing 14 states, including Indiana, and also several candidates from the city of Gary. It's been an exciting time to see the interest of the public in the city. So we're excited, and I look forward to sharing further news real soon. Next on the agenda, we'd like to move on to the manager's update. Dr. Racer, please.
Yes, thank you. In the interest of time this evening, we're going to give a summary report because the board does have an executive session following the meeting as well. So if you have not gotten a handout, there are handouts that will have all the information that we were going to share with you this evening. It is mainly updated information that we had been sharing now monthly with the board. So as you look through, you'll see our attendance, our suspension updates, the updates on our tutoring program that we've started, as well as an overview of our literacy cadre. We will be going into more detail on some of these items in our in our next meeting, we're also going to be talking about our family and community engagement plan. Then in the operations update, have put together a buildings and grounds manual that ensures institutional knowledge isn't lost if people were to leave or over time, and that's being put into policy that it'll be updated every year. We outline what our major expenses out of our buildings and grounds budget are. These are not capital expenditures, these are the yearly maintenance expenditures, as well as what the table of contents and the items that are going to be addressed in the handbook. Then our preventative maintenance schedules are listed, giving again examples of what we have. Our organizational chart, as well as the tenure of the folks who work in building and grounds. We have listed our vehicle inventory, as well as our mowing and our snow crews. And as you may remember, we instituted internal snow removal this year and saved the district approximately $250,000. So that was a great move on the district's part. And then we also have our monthly financial update where we've closed out the first quarter of the year for the school district, and we're staying on budget and looking very positive for the end of this year. Just final thing I want to do is I want to take the opportunity to recognize the hard work of the folks in the district and in our schools, as well as our central office staff. Really exciting time for the district as we look forward to welcoming in a new superintendent and the board taking formal control of the district in July, and making a lot of headway towards sustainability for the district. I do want to bring up a couple of things. We are not running at a deficit. We are predicting a deficit in the future if some factors wouldn't change. So the information is in here and you can look through it. Again, in an effort to give the board as much time as possible with the very important job they have in front of them, that is our report for this evening. But again, if anyone has any questions about this, I'll be around after and you can come up and ask me individually. Thank you, Mr. Sutton.
Thank you, Dr. Razor. That concludes our agenda. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. It's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you for your attendance. I encourage you to see us next month.